Pinpoint weather on NBC5 News is brought to you by the Cow Creek Umpqua Tribe.
Hey, we got the sunshine out there this Wednesday morning. Less haze here in the valley this morning, which is some good news and good air quality. If you are getting out and about, morning temperatures definitely the better time to do so. 64, 2 degrees warmer than yesterday. Humidity levels still in the 60s, which is some good news this morning. Wind speeds are very light at 3 miles per hour. You'll see that wind picking up a little bit into this afternoon. Again, nothing too overly strong, but today we're a little bit drier than yesterday, where we had upper 20s and lower 30s with the relative humidity values in the afternoon hours. Today we're going to be dropping right back down into the teens and lower 20s, so drier air, and with that breeze we get back into the elevated risk for wildfires, and you see those temperatures climbing into the lower 90s. A little bit stronger winds expected in our eastern counties. That's where we're seeing a little bit higher in the wildfire risk here today, getting back into the 4s and 5s where they were just on Monday. Of course, yesterday a little bit lower just because we had a little bit better moisture. So we still can definitely get some new fires started, still limit anything that could potentially start a new fire. And you see, as we get into tomorrow, still in that range of around 3 to 4 with that elevated risk. Now, wind speeds again today, you're seeing it from the northwest, anywhere from around 10 to 15 miles per hour, but we'll likely see some gusts getting as high as 20 to 30 in our eastern counties. Breezy for the coastline as well. For your weather headlines, overall, the forecast doesn't change too much. We'll actually cool off a little bit more as we're getting into the weekend and the next couple of days. Upper 80s and lower 90s, below the seasonal average for this time of year. But we stay in place with that breezier wind into the afternoon hours. Then it drops off overnight, picks back up the following day out of the northwest. And we'll see some heat returning into the start of next week. We're still watching the potential maybe for some storms out east of the Cascades, but even that doesn't look to be all that great in terms of if we see that or not. Still a ways out, a lot can change until then. We talked about the smoke already out east of the Cascades. That's going to be clearing out, but it won't be until the afternoon hours. So expect that smoky, hazy sky to our east continuing through the rest of this morning. We'll likely see some haze, but nothing too bad for here in the valley. You're seeing the flat fire still pushing that smoke further south and southeast into northern California. We'll see that smoke kind of filling back in from the bedrock fire overnight tonight in our eastern counties, and we look to clear out just a little bit more as we're getting through Thursday. So that is some good news. We do see some improvement, but overnight that smoke does tend to settle back in some of our area. Breezier winds, highs upper 80s, lower 90s. And that goes pretty much through this weekend. We climb back up into some mid-90s by Tuesday. Morning temperatures will feel a little bit nicer into the 50s and lower 60s. Klamath Falls, we're seeing those highs into the mid-80s through this weekend. Morning lows in the upper 40s. And again, breezier into the afternoon hours today. Could still see some of the gusts again as high as 30 miles per hour. And Northern California today is going to be just a tad hotter than yesterday, but will slightly cool off with lower 90s through this weekend. And the coastline a little bit warmer today as well, and then cooling back down into some mid and upper 60s throughout the later half of this week. We do see wind speeds picking back up with temperatures slightly warming by the start of next week.